And I'm five. Let's do this thing again live from the down in the Keys this week, as you can see from all the palm trees. If you're watching on the webcam or on the stream, y'all check us out on YouTube and some of the social media sites in our app. We're doing that now. Every now and then I like to get on the road and get out of the studio, so we're down here. I'm trying to, AJ, I thought I was getting out of the cold weather, and then y'all are going to have the same weather. Like, we had a warm front. When it got down to 12 degrees, I was like, we got to get the hell out of here. We got to go somewhere. We got to get out of this. I'm getting to that age. And now I'm down here with all the snowbirds, and y'all have got we got great weather in Birmingham all week long too around that part of Alabama. So let's get cranked up this hour. Storm restoration roofing. Speaking of weather, sometimes the weather gets funky and it tears up your roof. And if you get yourself into an emergency situation and you need Greg, y'all get Greg to come on out. Greg Nelson, of course, Storm Restoration. He's the pro. He's the guy I trust to get up there on your roof and take care of your home. He's been doing it for going on 30 years, so he knows his stuff. He knows the industry. He knows the best materials. He knows all the adjusters and the insurance companies. And it takes a lot. Sometimes if it's an insurance claim, it can be complex. You can easily get turned down. There's so much fine print in your policies, and he understands that fine print. So if you want a proper claim to be filed where you're not going to get turned down, because if you do it the wrong way and give them an excuse, look, I don't blame them. They don't want to have to write that check. But if you can document your case and know what happened and where it happened and what the damage is and do a proper estimate, you got a lot better chance of working with your insurance company and getting this stuff done. If it's a deductible issue because you've got that super high, man, some of y'all, if you haven't looked at your policies, your deductibles on these projects can be $6,000 or $7,000 or $8,000 on some policies. So, and I don't read that stuff either until you need it. And then boom, your heart sinks. Greg's got companies that can help you finance that portion of the job, work it with the insurance companies and get that stuff fixed. These same companies will do an entire roof project. If it doesn't involve insurance, you just know you need a new roof. So reach out to Greg because you get the quality commitment. You got 2 generations. You got almost 30 years of experience. A great guy. Y'all may know him as Greg from Pell City. He's called in with us for years. And now he's on the show, been a great sponsor for a long time. And he's who I trust to put up on top of your house. Here's the phone number. And by the way, stick this somewhere where you can get to it in an emergency. Sometimes you'll hear me talk about my roofer, but you don't take notes. And then suddenly you need one and you're trying to find me. And I just don't hang out on social media very much on the weekends. I'm hard to find. So go ahead and put this in your phone so you can get to him if you need him. It's 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531, Storm Restoration Roofing. All right, so here we go again. Let's go back through all the headlines. We talked about the Super Bowl. What else is there to say? The news is just inundated, as usual, with the reaction to the game and the dumb halftime show and all the fallout from that. The latest on that is the FCC now may be looking into the Bad Bunny show because he did a lot of vulgar stuff in Spanish. Did they really think they were going to get it? Why in the hell would NBC not know that? Why would they put this fool out there to do a bunch of nasty stuff and think, well, they won't, it has to be in English if it's real nasty. Put it this way, I said it last hour, if I couldn't read the transcript in English of what he's saying on the stage in Spanish, then he's got the same problem I do. And I'm on an FCC station too, so we'll see if that actually gets legs, whatever. But it's the Savannah Guthrie case that continues to enthrall a lot of people and really be the focus of the news cycle, especially here this afternoon with that deadline approaching. If we're to believe that the ransom threat is legit, and we don't know that there's a reason to or not to believe it, even after all this time since we became aware last week of a ransom note, if we're to believe it, and it appears the family at least does or did for a long time, then they have until, 2 more hours, a little less than 2 hours, and then something. I don't know what. Maybe the person demanding it disappears. Who knows if they'll ever find their mother again. But then there's all the speculation that somehow the family's involved, and there's a cover-up. That emerged this weekend after it seemed authorities had focused in on Savannah Guthrie's sister's home, probing around the house. That could also be due diligence. I can read this on both sides, and I've done that with every single angle that comes out. There's been the drug cartel angle. There's the international hit kind of thing. There's the because she's a celebrity in the media angle. There's all these people that will read what they want into their, and that's the problem with us amateurs. A lot of times, if you just want to have a gut and go with your gut and then look for evidence to support your gut so you can be right, then you're not going to be a very good detective, because that's not their job. And so now we got the FBI involved, and their job is to rule things out in as much as they rule things in. And part of ruling that out is everybody that was close to the proximity of this woman on the night appeared, and that clearly would involve Guthrie's siblings, whether they had anything to do directly with her disappearance or not. But she has disappeared, and it really seemed grave and ominous this weekend when they were poking around in a septic tank with a giant stick. How horrifying. But then this afternoon, after it seemed the case was pointed toward her no longer being here, after the family put out together, the three of them, the three siblings, put out another video saying they would pay, quote, they understood, and they were asking for their mother's return. They seem to be almost speaking in a way that she may not be with us, but they wanted her body back. That's what a lot of the experts read into not only the body language, but just the way the thing was constructed and scripted, and it was scripted. But then today, right after we started approaching this deadline, as soon as we got on the air this afternoon, Savannah Guthrie put another video out on her own this time, without her siblings, speaking directly into camera, and she seemed less scripted. And honestly, as I listened to it, I couldn't tell that it had a point. I'm not criticizing, I'm just trying to figure out what they're thinking. She just made another sort of generic plea for more tips, more information, and expressed a belief to the public. She wasn't even, and I'll listen to it again, I don't even hear her referencing a direct communication to the would-be captors, as if she didn't believe they were out there. They're just trying to find her mother. And she seemed to express she still believes she's alive. Now, having said all that, I know, and it brought to mind some cases that I covered years and years ago where families are going to be hopeful until given evidence otherwise. Even though if you're walking around with a heavy gut, feeling the worst, there's part of all of us that's going to still try to have hope in the best, especially if you're prayerful or if you're Christian, that things can get better. We go through a lot of that in life. It's kind of a way we brace against disappointment. And so Guthrie, I think, has to keep a brave face. She has to continue to give hope, and maybe to give people that are praying hope that her mom's still alive and that this really is a missing persons case. But it has taken so many directions, and I would expect we're going to hear more headlines or have more developments here just the next hour and 45 minutes as this case seems to be picking. There's some acceleration to it. It's hard for me to describe. But so here's the audio from the video she put out, just to describe the video. This time she really, put makeup on. I'm saying that just from a description standpoint. Before, you can imagine, you're not getting the polished person that they put on a TV set with all the good lighting and all the people fussing over her appearance. It's just plain old Savannah, probably how the rest of us look in the world. But this time she seemed to prepare herself. She was alone in the video. It appeared to be looking down into a vertical cell phone type camera. It was one of those vertical shots, and just sort of speaking from the heart for a couple of minutes. And it's just excruciating to watch. If you want to forget your thoughts about, we had a call earlier about how nasty she has been professionally as a journalist, and how she's carried herself in your career. To me, I got to set all that aside and just think about somebody that their mom's missing. Heck, their family could be involved. She probably knows some things that we don't know that are even more heartbreaking. She knows the content of those two ransom threats, whether they're legit or not. She knows what was in them. And so I can't imagine how somebody could be in that position right now. So it is tough to listen to this, but this is what she had to say here in these final hours before that deadline.
Hi there, everybody. I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt. Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers, and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
Again, as difficult to watch as it was to listen to. Now, for their part, the media have kept vigil all weekend, noticing everything that moves, seeing the camera flashes around her sister's house, watching the authorities from overhead probe into a septic tank. There was even a report a couple hours ago that there was water shooting up in the air near Nancy Guthrie's house. Maybe they're flushing out some of those systems behind their house. But that's also just to give this caution, and I've talked so much about it even today. I don't want to be too repetitive, but we got to keep going through it. It would be proper for the authorities to do due diligence about everything on this case. And for example, when the local sheriff took the tape down and and didn't thoroughly find everything on that crime scene and thoroughly vet the home, there was much criticism against the sheriff and those that seem to not be doing as thorough a job. Then when they go back and do a thorough job, when the feds get involved and they start flipping over every manhole, looking at every crack and cranny, people then try to take those as clues that they're onto something, and they could just be doing extreme diligence in processing everything around that scene for clues. There was a report earlier today that a necklace that Nancy Guthrie can be seen wearing in a couple of photographs of her while she was still alive was found a few meters from the house, and authorities were called. Somebody recognized the necklace, called the authorities. I don't know how it went missing, but they say by the time the authorities got there, the necklace was gone. And that's just weird. Now, we don't have any way to substantiate that because the authorities didn't recover it, but that was just another report. The neighbors are on edge. Their yards are being searched. It continues to be as uncertain as it was when we left you on Friday, even though there was a lot of activity and development on Friday. So for that matter, that's about as much as I can update you on at this time. We did have a money amount that appeared over the weekend of $6 million, again, in crypto. Authorities know that account does exist, but connecting it to another human being is a task. And as of this hour, we have had no reports that any money has been paid out, even though the family put that video out saying they would do that. Just again, more from Savannah Guthrie asking for clues as to her mother's disappearance. What a bizarre case to be trying to follow as we keep up with the details this afternoon. Your thoughts on the case, any other interpretations or impressions that it's made on you? Of course, we'll go to the phones here tonight. 545-9950 is the phone number. Ox Foundation Solutions bringing you the show this evening. oxstrong.com. These are my folks to take care of you if you got any kind of foundation issues, whether it's a crawl space or a slab, or of course, man, if you need a shift repair, if the whole house is shifting, crack, water intrusion, mold is the worst thing ever. If you ever get that in your home, your home is sick and it needs to be removed. We get a lot more cases of that during the humid months, but the one thing that can prevent that, of course, after you have that remediation, is get the encapsulation done, especially on a crawl space, and Ox are just the best at that, keeping out the mold and allergens and even the temperature. It's also a thermal barrier for the extreme times of the year, the extreme cold and the extreme heat. It's oxstrong.com. They're just the best, and you'll know that when they drive up in those professional looking trucks with all that technology and those highly trained folks. This is who you want dealing with something as sensitive as your foundation. It's oxstrong.com, oxstrong.com. We'll be right back from the Florida Keys, Leland Live. Stay tuned. We got just enough. We got just enough warm weather to make you sort of sense. Before you know it, it will be warm enough to take a dip in your own pool. Yeah, build your own pool. If you've ever wanted to add on to your house, I'm just telling you, my advice for a long time, based on my real estate background, is don't put a cheap pool on your house. Just don't put one on your house. Just go to Walmart, get one of those plastic things, put some water in it, and then throw it away, because it will not look right and it could devalue your home. Some people don't want a pool home. So when you go to market it, it has to be classy and it looks like it fits and well built. That's all they do at Distinctive Pools. You're going to get good advice. You're going to get proper, every now and then you're going to see a cat or perhaps a wife cut through the shot every now and then, or a dog. We got a whole crew up in here. Anyway, distinctivepools.com. Y'all, Gary Levesque's been doing this for 40 years, and occasionally, and of course his crew too, you combine all their experience, you get them out and let them draw in the dirt with you and get you a plan. From there, you get a budget. And from a budget, they can even get you financed. They've got companies that just do pool projects that can get you straightened out. And man, this is a good time of year to start digging. It's distinctivepools.com, distinctivepools.com. All right, let's go to the phones. We've got so many people. I'm hearing so many people saying the same things I'm saying, that it's hard to go with a gut or a guess or anything on this case, because there's been so much misdirection. And you do get a sense that a lot of it is intentional, but which parts? In other words, it's entirely plausible that Nancy Guthrie's case is domestic. That is, maybe something happened inside the family. There was an attempt to cover up. And then this ransom thing is completely disconnected, other than they just co-opt the attention on the case to try to demand money. I mean, y'all see how that happens with online scammers all the time, where they'll try to trick you into something just to scam you out of money. We'll call it the Nigerian prince theory, but it continues to stump, and we continue to watch it. AJ, is Richard there? We'll go to Richard next. Line 4. Richard, what's on your mind, man?
How you doing tonight?
Hey,
I don't want to sound insensitive or anything, because my day starts in the middle of the night with your channel, with Red Eye Radio and stuff.
Yeah.
Who rarely touched on the topic, because normally, like, if it was something big, or so many days later we hear something. My mom's 88; she's 30 feet away. I'm an only child, right? Yeah. So luckily she's in better shape than me. But I skip around the channels, but at 2:00 I come back to you, and because I drive, and I'm home every day, but. All the channels, it's just been repeating the same thing. And we have so many more important things going on. And that's what I mean. I don't mean to be insensitive, but, an occasional update's cool, right? But since there's really no movement on it, and it's kind of like, whoa, nothing. But what's going on with the vote on continuing with the government shutdown? And
we got 5 days for that, and that's going to be a dog and pony show. There's not going to be any action. When there's action on that, of course, we'll give it coverage. We've already talked about that today too. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Look, I get it.
But I only do X, right? And I follow all the big players, and nobody is covering this story. They're all into the mechanisms of Washington, D.C. and what's going on and what's not going on, and who's doing this and who isn't doing that and why, and blah, 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 blah. But none of them are talking about this issue.
Which issue?
So I hope it's resolved really soon, because everybody has a mom. Like I said, my mom's 88. She's 30 feet away, and I'm her only child, so it's on me, right?
Yep.
And you know what we do for our moms, right?
No doubt. All right, Richard, I get it. Look, it's a dominant issue. Thanks, buddy. I don't have any choice.
Thank you so much for what you guys do.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of emphasis on it because there's so much interest in it, and that sometimes you got to get. It's an editorial judgment when you've got an audience that's tuned in and they constantly want updates. And there has been an update today. We got a brand new video from this woman, this famous woman begging for help, and that created another series of headlines. Thanks, Richard. We'll move to Tila. Let me see if I can get her. Thanks, man. But fair criticism. I mean, sometimes it can seem like we're just all droning on, and in some ways you are filibustering, waiting on the next development. But when there's that much coverage, there's not much else in the news today, to be honest with you. We've got Congress being Congress, and I'll have our congressman on at 5 o'clock to talk about the SAVE Act vote, which may happen later in the week. The shutdown is just another one of those. It's theater. We play into that too. If y'all got anything else you want to bring up, bring up. But I appreciate it, Richard. Tila is up next on line 3. What's up, Tila?
Hey, yes. If you've already covered this, just say, hey, we've already done this because I just got in the car a few minutes ago and I don't want
Yeah,
to
sure.
repeat what you've already had.
No
But
problem.
some things that seem kind of interesting to me are, and they may be leaving these things out intentionally, but they went from at one point saying a family member dropped her off to saying the son in law dropped her off. They've always said dropped her off. And they've
Mm-hmm.
always stressed the time that the garage door opens and closes. So we know she has mobile issues. So I would not think that somebody would just literally just drop her and just say, bye now, get in to the house. I would think they would walk her in. But again, that's never been said one way or the other.
Yeah.
But if they did have something set up originally with the son-in-law, if he's in on this in any way, and I hope he's not, that he could have planned for somebody to be aware that he was going to walk her in the house. They then came in the garage and they got in place. And then he just closed the garage and then off he went. And that way they were first in. Second thing is if they have to, if he's involved again, and he's made them aware of her medical needs, they could easily, and I do really believe easily, have gotten medication the type that she uses to have with them so that they show that they didn't carry her medication. They're thinking she's near death, but they need to keep her alive for this ransom issue. And anyway, and then I just noticed today, I heard the video a few minutes ago. She stressed, Savannah stressed her brother and her sister and her. They just didn't even say the brother-in-law, but that's okay. But I just think that's very suspicious. The garage thing really has me very curious.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Tila. I'll respond to some of that on the other side, and any other
All right,
calls
thanks.
or theories too. Yeah. It is kind of crazy. Oh, we could talk about Bad Bunny from now to 6 if y'all want to. Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny. Let's do this thing again. Leland Live, Talk 99.5, Alabama Dental Associates. Bringing you the show tonight, alabamadental.com. Y'all go get your teeth did. Hey, Jay, we almost got a sunset on the old water cam, on the roof cam. I spun it around a second ago, and I was like, let me see if I can spin this thing around and get a sunset. But it's looking straight at the side of an air conditioner unit. So
Well, I mean,
I'll think
the pictures you got right now, even though you're not showing yourself, but that picture right there,
yeah,
that's actually a really good shot because you kind of get that sunset.
you can feel it. Yeah, it's not pointed right into the sun. Let me scroll around. So if I get, see, I should have set it up on top of that thing, and then boom, I'm pointed right at an air. That's not very sexy.
Yeah, plus you don't want to have it directly in the sun anyway because it could
That's true.
Your lens and all that stuff.
AJ's a photographer, y'all. Yeah, I just we kept going south, so I'm down here on the coast for a couple of days. We're going to be doing the show down here. I hope I find something fun to get into. Had to kind of get set up, so here we are in Alabama Dental. When I get back, it's going to be looking at my pearly whites because I've got an appointment. I had to put it off a little bit, but I got to get in there. My twice-a-year checkup. Dr. Brian has never been able to find a single cavity. He's offered a bounty to find cavities. I got some crooked teeth, but they strong, and they don't have cavities. And I trust the whole team there to take care of. Some of y'all have more chronic issues, and I get it. You chronic pain or other, you've had root canals, you get chronic cavities or whatever. And this is the practice that's got the comprehensive ability to look at everything that might come at you in the way of your dental care, because they got 4 specialists under one roof with all the latest technology and the expanded hours of as late as 7 o'clock at night and on the weekends. I love that part. I really do. I mean, so many people, I am chasing my tail Monday through Friday, and sometimes it's good to do the things like this, get them knocked out on a Saturday. They'll do that for you. It's alabamadental.com, alabamadental.com. I do not want to talk about Bad Bunny any more than I want to keep talking about Savannah Guthrie, but I saw a story. Let's see if I still have the money figured up. So, again, I'm going to have to plead ignorant because I didn't watch the halftime show, and I spent most of the day just trying to get here and get set up, so I haven't watched any clips of it. But apparently there were dancing trees. Did you see this, AJ? The people that got in little bush costumes and ran out onto the field, they were the same color as the grass. I don't know what that was. Did you see that?
Oh, you talking about the people that was like they were in the grass costume?
Little grassy tree costume people.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be looking like sugarcane or something like that.
Is that what that's about?
Yeah.
Because they do that down in Puerto Rico or whatever. I mean, that's a big deal. That's why they have, isn't that where rum comes from? Isn't it sugarcane? Mm-hmm. Isn't that the basis of the rum industry? Bacardi. Anyway, so the people that, I don't know why this is fascinating. You know, because even when I think a halftime show sucks, one of the things I get distracted about is how they move it all out there, set it up, make it work, and get it off the field. The logistics. I'll go to a concert, and I'll spend half my time looking up at the truss system and the way the wires run. I just geek out on that stuff. Well, anyway, the people inside the trees, the people that played the role of the trees, were paid $18.70 an hour. For 70 hours of work. They all got paid a total of $1,309 for 8 days of rehearsal and then the day itself. Does that matter? Is that a fact that y'all are interested in? So is that a pretty good gig? You get $1,300 to get to say you participated in the halftime show, even though your mama couldn't tell you from the other trees.
Hey,
Mom, yeah. I'm on TV. Mom, I'm on TV. Take my picture. You look like everybody else.
It's almost like the guy who was in the very first Jurassic Park before they decided to do like Jurassic 15 to geriatric time.
Right.
There was the very beginning part of the movie, right? The guy, you could just tell, like, you know, he worked his whole life to be in a big production movie like Jurassic Park. I mean, it's revolutionary. The animatronics was just top notch, you know. And then you tell everybody, hey, I'm in the movie. You get to the movie premiere, you know, you do your shot, you know, you do your scene, and then it's like you get eaten by a dinosaur like 5 secones in the
you got snacked on. But see, you remember, you don't know his name, but you know that guy got ate.
Yeah. But they don't even really show your face either.
All the people in costumes, I'm like, man, that's a lot of work. I was an extra. I've talked about it. When I was in college, I was an extra in the movie Mississippi Burning. I just kind of got roped into it. It was fun, but they paid us $25 a day and a sack lunch to stand around for 12 hours in wool. I had a wool state trooper uniform on in the heat, but I would have done it for free, man. I was like, I'll bring my own lunch. I want to be in a movie. So $1,309 to run around as a dancing little shrub bush sugarcane thing. Probably not too bad.
I mean, not too bad, but I mean, like, unless you have pictures of yourself in said costume or getting into the costume, walking out to the field, because they probably tell you, you can't really show the production because it's so secretive.
Yep.
And then they're like, yeah, you was Bush number 10. Okay, I believe you.
And how many people will lie about it and just make that up? Yeah, I was, some guy wasn't where he's supposed to be the other night. It's like, no, I was in the halftime show. I swear. Others will have an IMDb page. They've already started their acting career, and I was shrub number 75.
Well, I do have a one movie. I'm not going to tell you the name of the movie. But I was a production assistant in it a long time. I don't even know if it came out or not. It was one of those independent films.
Yeah.
The guy who produced it and starred in the movie did do some other stuff. And I'll see him like, oh yeah, I did a movie with him a long time ago. But I was a production assistant. This is when I was getting my degree in video technology and.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So I do have one. Credit.
But you don't want to tell us the movie because
it was a very interesting movie. It's a very interesting movie.
Are you saying there's some smut on the internet? That's what it is, AJ. And you have grown up.
No, I was not no DP in one of those type of movies.
AJ was the original Bad Bunny. He just didn't want y'all to know that. He was in a Bad Bunny costume.
Oh, gosh.
All right, let's go to the phones. Steve's on line one. What you got, Steve? What's going on, man? AJ, is Steve there? Do we have Steve? Steve. Maybe he dropped off. Steve, are you there, buddy? Some people just can't get right. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Steve. I'll give you another shot later. Okay, Mando. Let's talk about Mando real quick. If you're ready to get it tight, get it right in the new year, it is time. I mean, you're already, forget the New Year's resolution crowd. Those losers have already quit. It's February the 9th. They've already quit. You're committed, and maybe you just are running into problems where it just, what you've been doing doesn't work anymore, or just, look, dragging yourself to a gym, having to put on gym clothes, go in there and do all the stuff and wait on the equipment and work on your parts and go back the next day and work on another body part. It takes forever, and it's expensive. Y'all need to look into Mando. This is much more efficient, not only in the workout, but in the time it saves. You can only do a 15-minute workout. And that's because it's so intense. Now, and this also isn't weight training or cables. This is electronic muscle stimulation. This is where they put you in a suit and bzz, it doesn't hurt, but they tingle you with a low current and it flexes your muscles. It's a weird sensation. If you've ever had a Tim's machine, it's very similar to that. The concept was they invented that to keep muscles from atrophying when you were injured. And somebody years ago, I think over in Europe somewhere, said, what if we did the whole body as a workout? And it works. It's pretty interesting technology. You need to try it. If you're medically eligible, you got to establish that. And if you are, let them let you work out for free and see what you think. I'll tell you, if you don't decide on the spot, and a lot of people do, they're like, okay, I'm coming back. I got to do this again. Some people wait. Man, that 2 or 3 days after that, you are so sore. It's that good kind of sore where you feel like you're on track and you got a good workout. That's Mando. Go try them in Homewood, one of those second floor walk-ups right there in downtown Homewood. Tell Paul we sent you and get it right this new year with Mando, MANDUU, Mando.com. Hey, Jay, we'll go to Steve now if he's back. We got Steve back on the line. What's up, Steve? What you know, man?
Hey, man. How did the team do down there in Orlando? They win?
They did well. The school itself did very well in the tournament, but there was a technical glitch, and the routine went a little bit over, and they got penalized and did not make the finals. But if they had, I think they'd have won it all. It's a long story. There was some mama drama after that, but I'm staying out of it. I was just a supportive bonus parent.
Get them back to Birmingham. Get them up at 5:30 in the morning.
Yep.
5 miles a day before breakfast.
That's right. But they did. They worked so hard. I started the show with all of my cheerleading stories, but those kids worked so hard for that 2 minutes, and So everybody was proud of them, and it was good just to be able to do something like that and say you competed on a national stage like that. It's really
Hey,
cool.
the Public Service Commission's got something going on with them the last couple of days, I guess, or going back to last week. They control. I guess they raise the rates for Alabama Power, right?
Well, there's supposed to be a regulatory agency over all of the utilities, but years ago they really gave up the decision making to have to raise or lower rates on the power company to a formula passed by the legislature, where it's mostly out of their hands. And
sorry.
Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead, man.
Most people don't realize that they raised the rate for Alabama Power about 4 or 5 years ago, specifically to do something about the coal ash pond on the Mobile River.
Yep, that was an issue.
Coal ash pond. They definitely have already raised the rates for it years past. I don't know how many years, 3 or 4 years, I believe. And
Right.
There's no plan to do a damn thing. And you talk to like water experts and nature experts, dikes and levees, whatever you want to call them, earthen ones, they eventually just wear out. I mean, it doesn't necessarily even take a big old hurricane to mess it up, And so everyone in Alabama has been paying a higher power bill, I want to say for 3 or 4 years now, to go into a fund to try and fix it or do something with it, get rid of it, Alabama Power ain't doing a damn thing.
Well, I don't know the details of that. I do have a vague memory of that being the justification for the increase. There's some other news about the PSC today where I think there's some bills that have been introduced this session to get rid of it, to just change the commission. And normally, I guess I'm not for extra regulatory bodies anyway, but the PSC is mostly toothless. It is and I know because I've known some people up close that have worked there. It's a no-show job. They don't do a whole lot. They can get pissed and get on TV or put out a memo every now and then, but they pretty much rubber stamp most everything. It's a very small commission. They got a good staff, but and some of the commissioners themselves will tell you that there should be reform. But the power company runs the state. The state does not tell the power company what to do.
Yeah, I think you're right there because
yep.
That's a huge. You heard about what happens when these coal ash ponds mess up? I think it's happened in West Virginia and North Carolina.
I think we had a collapse in North Alabama or somewhere up around Chattanooga years ago that started some of the concern over it, because they do that stuff. That stuff piles up, and then if we have a rain event or something happens and they collapse, it gets into the water supply. It is an issue for sure. But I'll have to dig around about the remediation project and what that entails.
That'll just wipe out Mobile Bay. It'll probably affect the beaches and everything,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It could be a disaster. Yep.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, man. Look, it's...
I gotta go. Go ahead.
No, I appreciate it. Just moving on to got to do that break. Thanks, Steve. Good question, though. Yeah, there is something, and I've only seen the surface of that story of a reformation to change the whole PSC structure, and I think the headline was something along the lines of the current members, maybe the last members, if a bill were to go through. All I will tell you, and this is not pointing fingers directly at anybody at the power company. I don't care about those folks. I'm not afraid of their politics, but I will say, it's compared to other utilities in the country, we don't see some of the same. Look at the incompetence around the situation in Nashville from the tree trimming, their liabilities that go along with what they do. Our rates, while shocking right now, are pretty much percentage-wise on par with the other rates around the country, if not a little bit lower per kilowatt. The highest rates in the country are in the blue states, up in the Northeast corridor and out in California, where they just do everything to make it more difficult. So, without them, we all would just starve to death. We need our utilities. But as far as control, just the political side of that, they've got a heavy hand on the legislature in both parties on any regulatory business and anything that moves in the state. They keep eyes and ears. They're an intelligence gathering agency as well, and they are quick to hook you up. Let's say, I don't know, you wanted to become a United States senator and get your spouse hired. They're good at that kind of stuff. They will take care of the people that take care of them, and that's how you stay in business nowadays. Politics is a pay-to-play system, and they're a big mule, as they used to refer to big entities like that. All right, back here in just a minute. Y'all stay tuned. Leland Live. All right, y'all, 4:55, Leland Live Sun going down here in the Keys, and it should be a fun week here on the radio. Y'all hang out with us, join us online, check that camera feed out every now and then if you want to. Michelson Laser Vision bringing you the show tonight. Dr. Mark and Dr. Jennifer ready to help you see better. If you need, if you're in glasses or contacts and you need to see better, I'm telling you, I see better with this LASIK procedure than I did with my glasses and contacts, and that's a simple explanation. They were always dirty. I mean, it's almost impossible to wear. Even think about it, even with your sunglasses, you're constantly cleaning them. They get smudgy. If it's raining, they get, I mean, and with contacts, I would sleep in them when I shouldn't have. I was a terrible contact wearer. I just, it's a wonder my eyes did not get in an unhealthy condition. But LASIK freed me of all that, remembering to always have solution and backup contacts and all the things that come with that. And I would mix it up. I'd wear them for a while and wear glasses for a while. And nothing has been better than just being able to see all the time, especially out traveling and looking out at the great road, out seeing this beautiful country and being 2015 all the time, everywhere I go. Look into it yourself. That's a pun. I know it. Go down to Michelson Laser Vision there at UAB Highlands, downtown Birmingham, and see what they can do for you. Dr. Mark and his daughter, Dr. Jennifer. That is a father-daughter team that's just outstanding. So is that. They've got a wonderful staff. Let them take good care of you in the long run, too. This is not some fly-by-night discount place. This is the legendary Michelson practice here in Alabama. It's MichelsonLaserVision.com, MichelsonLaserVision.com. All right, here's another headline, something off the beaten path today. A federal court has just blocked a new law that California passed mandating that ICE agents take their masks off when operating in the state of California. The Democrats are such hypocrites on this issue. They create violent conditions where these people are personally targeted for doing a job that we've hired them to do as citizens of this country, and then want to remove that safety feature as if it poses a threat to anybody out there other than illegals. And they keep passing these laws there. And so, again, a federal court said, nope, the law does not allow California to dictate that to the federal government, covering, enforcing its laws under the federal code. There's another issue where the D's have decided to flip-flop, and just what a bunch of losers. So forever, they tried to come up with a list of demands. They have to take their mask off, or they got to get out of this state, or they can't enforce laws here. They don't get to do that. That's not our system. It's never been our system. It's wholly outside the laws and the Constitution of this country for these people to declare themselves sanctuary, this or that. But one of their other issues was they wanted ICE agents to wear body cameras. And this was the same pattern after the BLM movement, where everybody was screaming, all the cops should all have cameras. And then they started putting more cameras on cops, and that was the end of the BLM movement, because we saw the truth in those videos and how much violence our cops have to put up with, how much they're right. Well, now the federal government decided to go along with it, and I think there's even additional funding in this new bill to allow more of the ICE agents to wear these body cameras. It would be helpful to them to show the truth behind these myths that are being spun by people on the left about these encounters. And so the government says, okay, we'll wear body cameras. We'll put everybody in a body camera. And now they've come back and said, no. That would be a violation of the civil rights of the people you're arresting to capture their identities. Or perhaps they'll use those cameras to surveil all of these anti-ICE protesters that are out shooting at them and fighting with them and throwing stuff at them, that it would give them an opportunity to capture them on camera and then turn around and use that to arrest these people. So now they don't want the cameras. Oh, really? It's like, release the Epstein files. We need to see the truth. And they did. And then they all started shutting up about it because it was all their people in the Epstein files. They just keep doing this stuff. And this country gets collective amnesia and forgets all about the hypocrisy from these people. That's okay. That just means we're winning. And good on the judge for saying ICE can operate any way they need to within the law, as they have been in the state of California or Minnesota or Alabama or Louisiana or North Carolina or Wisconsin or Oklahoma or Florida or New Mexico or Arizona